Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Thursday, December 12th, 2024. So, on a day away from an unlucky Friday, was this a lucky Thursday? And did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
Good.
I don't know if I was lucky, though.
Did you solve it?
I did solve it.
But it was probably more skill than luck, I would expect.
I would hope so after all these years of doing crosswords.
Right. And one of the things about this crossword, there were absolutely no debut answers.
Really?
So you have probably seen every single answer that's in the grid.
Wow.
Yeah, I was sort of surprised by that.
I was too, considering the theme.
It was a good crossword.
Yeah.
I mean, that really doesn't take away from it at all, but it is interesting to note that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a theme here.
Yes, there was, and it was rather complex.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Please, elaborate.
Well, there were some additional visuals on the crossword, some additional graphics.
Mm-hmm.
There were three numbers that were circled and highlighted in yellow. 16 across, the 16 was highlighted. 22 across, the 2 up in the corner of the first square was circled and highlighted in yellow, and the same thing for 51 down.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured it out finally, I think, with the third one. But anyway, there were three clues that included those numbers, 16, 22, and 51. And in order to really solve the clue, you had to go to the answer that you put for 16 across, 22 across, or 51 down. So, for example, 19 across was part of a bat that produces the best contact. And the answer was sweet 16. But if you went to the 16 that was highlighted, 16 across, domino pip example was spot. So it was sweet spot. Sweet 16, you go to 16, and the word is spot. So it was sweet spot, which is the part of the bat that produces the best contact. So, or the next one was 36 across, gets serious hang time as a skateboarder. And the answer to that was catch 22. Well, 22 across, which was highlighted, was express publicly, and that was air. So the answer to 36 across was catch air, not catch 22, but you had to do catch and then go up to 22 across and use air. So catch air was hanging, I guess, for when you hang for a long time as a skateboarder.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, this one I finally figured it out, 52 across, 3-digit numbers in parentheses. And the answer was area 51, which of course doesn't really answer it. But if you go to 51, which was 51 down, writes in C or R, say, and that was codes. And so it was area codes, 3-digit numbers in parentheses. So that was the theme, and it was very clever.
It was.
I don't know that I've ever seen a theme quite like that. I know, sometimes you have to, go to a different, clue in order to kind of finish the answer, or the answer has to, it snakes upward or underneath or whatever. But I've never seen the actual number of where you have to go in the answer. It's like Sweet 16 or Catch 22 or Area 51.
They certainly haven't, since we started doing this podcast, they haven't done anything like this.
No.
I'm pretty sure I would have remembered.
Yes. Very, very clever.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes, I got this theme about 5 seconds ago when you explained it to me.
Oh, really?
Because I just went through it, and I had some other things I needed to do. So I thought, okay, fine. Part of a bat that produces the best contact is called the Sweet 16. And I was like, well, maybe it's measuring inches from the top or the bottom of the bat. And then for catch 22, I thought maybe there's some catch 22 about getting serious hang time. I rationalized each one of these as written. I had a little trouble with Area 51. I
was going to say, how'd you rationalize that?
Well, I thought maybe somewhere they write area and then in parentheses, because it's supposed to be secret, 51.
Oh.
Now, the trouble with that is that 51 is only a two-digit number.
Yeah.
But I had 51.0, so that's where my third digit came. So it's area 51.0 in parentheses. Mm-hmm. See, I can rationalize just about anything.
I guess you can.
Yep.
Maybe shows the sign of a very clever mind.
I don't know, but I am hoping that in the next Olympics they introduce rationalization as one of their events.
Oh.
You can have your kayaking, you can have your javelin, you can have your judo, and you can have your rationalization.
Oh, I see.
Not exactly sure how the mechanics of that sport is gonna materialize, but I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, the interesting thing, and I guess why I said I wasn't lucky, was I couldn't get it done.
Oh,
And I couldn't get it done because I couldn't get 1 across and 13 across. And it was so funny because I woke up early and I looked at it and I got them in like 2 seconds. It's just like I couldn't believe how fast I got it done once I looked at it in the morning.
Right.
But the 1 across was strike 1, right?
Yes.
Strike 1. And I could not get either baseball or hitting somebody out of my mind. I'm like, well, at first I put slap. Like you slap.
Right.
Strike 1, you slap.
Slap
them.
I thought slam or bash.
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of 4-letter words that refer to strikes.
Right. And then, I thought, I was trying to think of some sort of baseball clue or answer, but anyway, that was 1 across. And 13 across was can. And I only could think of like fire someone.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, you can axe them, you can pink slip. I couldn't think of anything that would be 4 letters other than fire. I did put fire in there,
right?
And I had to take it out. And the downs did not help me. The only one I could get was 3 down, which was strutted one's stuff. And that was showboated.
You mean to tell me you got 3 down, but you couldn't get 2 down, the O, which was oops?
Well, I couldn't figure out what do means. I thought it meant like duh, I don't know, or duh, how could you not know that? That's what I was thinking. It was trying to portray there. Duh.
Okay, well, how about 16 across domino pip, e.g. spot?
I got that. Yeah, I got that, but I couldn't get the 2 above it.
Huh.
All I could get was showboated. And so anyway, once I looked at it in the morning, strike 1, 3rd letter S, I'm like, oh, strike a pose.
Wow.
So I put in pose, and then I went to 1 down. A family might have matching ones for short. I couldn't figure that one out. But once I had the P, I was like, PJs. Mm-hmm. So I put in the J, and then I looked at 13 across, and I had can, starting with a J, 3rd letter H. I'm like, oh, of course, John.
So what did you do with 4 down, maze prompt, enter?
Yeah, see, I couldn't figure out what that was. I had the TER.
Whoa, you were too tired. You really should have just stopped at that point.
Well, I couldn't figure out exactly maze prompt. I thought, well, there are arrows maybe. I didn't think about as you went in, it would be like an enter sign. Exit sign. I thought of exit. I didn't think, they wouldn't put in an enter.
Of course, they have to tell you where to get in.
Well, yeah, I suppose. But I was thinking about, like a maze where you actually walk through a maze.
Sure. But I mean, to walk through the maze, you first have to know where the entrance is.
Well, that's probably pretty obvious if you're going to a maze.
You just look for the sign that says enter.
You look for a door, or you look for an entryway. I mean, it's just usually one place to go. So anyway, but it was just crazy.
You were just tired. I mean, that sounds like me a lot of the time when I'm trying to do these late at night.
I really feel tired, but it's just I couldn't get the baseball thing out of my mind or the firing out of my mind. I wasn't thinking of strike a pose or that a can could be slang for bathroom, and so
I think as soon as I got enter, my calculations changed. Because I knew it couldn't be slam or bash or slap. Mm-hmm. Not that I had slap, I just had slam and bash. And then that N went for, because I thought about can, I thought about, firing someone and the bathroom. And I wasn't sure which one was right. But once I got the N, I'm like, oh, it's John. And so then I had the O in the middle of oops. And it's just like, well, okay, that's oops. So... But I may have done it earlier. Well, I did it at night, but I might have been more awake, I guess.
You're just better.
No. We know that is quantitatively untrue. 8 across, I did not know. It was blank gusto. Nice to meet you in Spanish. And it was mucho.
Mucho gusto.
See, to me, that looks like the word much taste. Mucho looks like much, obviously. And gusto sounds like, something to do with taste, as I say.
No.
But apparently not, unless the way that Spanish people greet each other is to say a lot of wind or a lot of taste or maybe a lot of gust. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do you know what those individual words really mean?
Well, mucho means much, and gusto means I meet, I think.
Okay.
I think gustar is a verb to meet.
Beneath that, we had 15 across. Paella base was arroz.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I mispronounced 2 out of the 3 words in that.
Be a rose, I think.
Is it a rose?
I believe so.
Okay.
It's kind of rice.
I feel I have a really good handle on base. I believe I've pronounced base correctly, but paella is again a stab in the dark.
Let's see, be paella. I just remember in Spanish, all the vowels, they always sound the same.
Is that also Spanish, paella?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So A is like in father, so I'm thinking it's paella, because E is I.
Then it would be paella.
Paella, yeah.
Paella, that's too hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I liked actually. Arroz came out of 8 down. Mind repeating that mantra. That was sort of cute. Mm-hmm. And let's see. The 12 down. The 40 in a malt liquor 40, abra, and it was OZS for ounces.
Ounces, yes.
Guess I should have figured that one out.
Yep.
Let's see. I'll tell you one place where I had a lot of trouble. 30 down. Novice gamers informally. And I thought, well, it's noobs. Noobs.
Well, that's what I put too.
But I had to retract that because 35 across was fresh. And it was 4 letters. And I had the last letter, I think, as W. I thought it's got to be a new. And that meant it was Neobs. And I thought neobs doesn't sound right. But I didn't have catch 22 at the time. So... Mm-hmm. Eventually, I figured it's got to be noobs with a W and then somehow worked backward. In that same area, 39 down, Roger B. Blank, Justice, who famously authored the Dred Scott decision, 1857. And it was Taney.
That's right.
And I was like, okay, let's see. Laney sounds good. Daney sounds good. Maybe Maney sounds good. I was thinking of all these different possibilities. But... then when I got 22, that sort of crystallized the T there.
Very good.
38 down, Suns That Shine, ? NBA stars.
Right. That took me a while.
Mm-hmm. That was cute, though.
Because 41 across was boomer in a band. And so I put drum.
Oh,
like, bass
sure.
Drum. But it was tuba.
Tuba.
I thought tuba, but then I thought, no, a boomer, that sounds more like a drum. But...
I like tuba. I think that's a great answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had 20, that T of tuba came out of 26 down. Hogwarts exam after the OWL was Newt.
That's right.
N-E-W-T. Mm-hmm. So we had noobs and Newt.
That's right.
I was embarrassed that I didn't 51 across writes in C or R say. I'm like,
51 down.
I'm sorry, 51 down, writes in C or R say, and I'm like, what? And then I realized, oh, it's maybe I got a letter or two and realized it was codes, because I mean I know and use C a lot, but not R.
I put codes right away.
Really?
Because I thought writes in C, codes, right?
Yeah, but you see,
I remember, like you having to learn C. Like when you were first starting out teaching computer science, you had to learn C.
Well, actually, I learned
and our
it.
son did too when he first started studying computer science.
I learned it when studying. I learned it when studying computer science.
Mm-hmm.
But then R is a much more modern. That's sort of a statistical language, I think.
Oh.
But I guess I focus on the writes in C or R, and I'm like, C or R, carriage return? It's like I didn't know what to make of that.
Mm.
But eventually I did figure it out. We had your favorite word, 65 across, meeting informally, sesh.
Sesh.
Yes.
Yep.
I know that's your favorite word.
I love those truncated words that are so much easier to say than the actual word session.
Right. If you don't have the time, you got to cut to the sesh.
Cut to the sesh.
Cut to the sesh.
Mm-hmm.
52 down, Kazakhstan's blank C was Errol. And Errol has appeared, I'm sure you're wondering, just how many times have we seen Errol? And we have seen Errol 585 times.
Wow.
Yep. Way back to 1942 when it was clued as Asian Sea. And that was in a crossword by Charles Mertz and Arthur Hayes Sulzberger. That sounds like the name of like one of the owners of the New York Times. Maybe that was Sauls something. But this is Sulzberger.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't met too many Sulzbergers, to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
He was the publisher of the New York Times from 1935 to 1961. Bet it was really easy for him to get a crossword.
Well, yeah.
He said, "Here's my crossword. Publish it."
Okay.
That was the end of the discussion right there. Huh. Of course, he was the second author. The first author was Charles Mertz. We know who did the work. Arthur probably suggested, "Hey, how about Errol, Asian Sea?" That's probably like the worst clue. Interestingly, so with X-Word Info, you can go back and see the all of these way back to 1942, and it looks like a Sunday.
Yes, it's very large.
It's big. It's a gigantic crossword.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And Sulzberger just said, "Hey, take as many column inches as you need."
I see. Well, getting back to
Today's
Thursday,
okay.
December 12th crossword, it was by Daniel Bodily or Bodily. Bodily, you think?
I'm going for Bodily.
Bodily.
Unless told otherwise.
Mm-hmm. So, well done, Daniel.
Yes, indeed. This was his 12th for the New York Times since 2022.
Mm.
And he's gotten one published Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday and Saturday are in his future, I bet.
I bet.
All right. Well, that is it for today. A reminder that we have a Triplet Tuesday contest coming up next week. Your chance to win fabulous Northeast Wisconsin swag.
And a t-shirt.
So if you don't know how to play Triplet Tuesday, wander back through a couple of our previous Tuesday episodes, and we have examples of how we play it. And then when we play it with you, we won't be blurting out the answer if we figure it out. We'll just be writing it down, and that way you'll get to hear all three clues presented for each of the three answers that we'll be looking at. And you should start practicing now. All right, that's it.
Maybe not.
Or maybe not. Yeah. You don't want to sort of hit your stride too early.
That's right.
But that is it for today. So thanks everyone for listening. We will be back again with our cutting edge analysis of Friday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.